Hello everyone, today I'm going to be delving into the Grimdark 41st Millennium as I check out Cubicle 7's Imperium Maledictum Starter Set. Okay then, the Imperium Maledictum Starter Set from Cubicle 7 for games of Warhammer 40,000 with a very grim Warfrip-esque feel to them. Everything you need to get started playing is in here. As you can see, we have pre-generated characters, we have the rules, the campaign that you play in here. There's a set of percentile dice. So the Blazing Seraph will give you the core rules. Rokarth, A Guide to the Hive, is the city in which you're playing, and then the pre-generated characters you can pick and choose from. Now, because obviously the campaign is a narrative campaign, I'm going to be going through all of the pages because I don't want to ruin it for people who are planning on picking up and playing it, particularly if they are going to be playing rather than GMing. So percentile dice, all with the Imperial Eagle and a skull on them. Very good. 34, not bad. I'll take that. In most games with percentile, 34 might be a pass or close to it. Then we have our paperwork and the inside of the box. And as you can see, the inside of the box is the section that you're going to be playing in with all of the relevant planets marked. Don't worry, you won't get to most of those. You'll live and die in the hive you grew up in. But I quite like this. The box itself is, what they call it, linen printed. So nice finish on it. And then the interior box makes quite a good dice tray with a very 40k feel. Ooh, 6. That would probably be a crit. Well done me. I'm going to stop using up all my luck. Right. So, paperwork side. Read this first. Gatefolded. It tells you where you are in the Macarian sector, what the game is, what a role-playing game is. Never abbreviate it to TT. It is an RPG. We came first. Ignore computer games. So contents, what to do to get started, how the books work, and the like. So that's quite nice. There's a bit of a blurb about what the Imperium is and who the Emperor is. Read this first, so to speak. We have our pre-generated characters, all similarly gatefolded. So on the front, you get some notable quotes, which is handy for your players when they're just starting out. Gives them something they can say. I find your faith insufficient. Try again, quickly. Who she is, what they're like, why to play them, which is a really handy breakdown, especially when you might have a group of 4 and you've got 6 characters and you're going, okay, well, why would I play her? She's a zealot. She's good with a chain sword. It's resolute, implacable. Gives you role-playing notes and sort of game notes. The reverse is a lovely piece of artwork. And the thing about that is your players could essentially use these like their own player screens because they're also gatefolded. So all of the stats are in there, and then they can set these up in front of them on the table. And then your rest of the party can see who you are at a glance, especially handy when starting out. Who are you again? Well, you know who I am because you can see me there. So we have our sister, Eidolon, who looks like a wannabe assassin. Vilkis, you can, if you want, pause these and read them. Rita, the psychic, you say? Oh, I hope you've been thoroughly vetted. It's rule number 1, anybody who's got Rita in your party, shoot her before she summons all the chaos to you. Do it quickly, faster. Cassium, who I actually played on a Let's Play of this when the book was being worked on, which was so much fun with a voice modulator. It just cheered me up no end. And we also have Callie, who is a warrior, so either Imperial Guard or Planetary Defense. You'll have to read it to find out. So those are pre-generated characters. Next up we have the adventure book, The Blazing Seraph. I'm not going through this because I don't know how much of it will be spoilers immediately. You do get to see a cutaway section of the Hive. Scum, important people, you probably here be dragons. The book itself is 47 pages. That's as much as you're going to get about that. Is colour throughout, and it does have decent amount of text for each of the sort of personalities and people you might run into. Ooh, tokens. I don't know how I feel about tokens. It looks like borderline putting a map down. I suppose they're handy little aid memoirs. I don't know what those are. Grenades, gratin, inquisitorial seal, quite like. And there's our 6 characters. So yeah, I suppose if you're trying to work out combat, you could do these. It's up to you. I prefer not to use any miniatures or tokens on the table. To each their own though. We have basic rule reference sheet, combat reference sheet, critical reference sheet, hazard reference sheet. So those are all cardstock, double-paged or double-sided quick reference. So I suppose if you're playing through and you need to know what you're doing, it's very quick to show you here. You know, what a difficulty test is, how an opposed test works, advantage and disadvantage, all of those. So that's quite a nice little tie-in. I didn't realize that added quick references. We also have, a couple more actually, factions and influence. So who's who and how they will affect your players. Warp and Psychers, like I said, just shoot her in the head. Nobody wants the warp, because when the warp gets involved, then high-level Inquisitors get involved, and you get shot yourself. Trading in gear, okay. So there's a set of, what looks to be 9 reference cards there, to make life easier for the GM. And then we have Rokarth, Guide to the Hive. So the noble houses therein, the merchant guilds, and the infractionist gangs, including the cutters. Delightful people. This is 67 pages. Okay, I get you now. So the quick references are your rules, and this is actually just a source book. That's nice. So you're not dealing with having to go book flipping. Essentially, your rules are just those cards. And then that means everything in here is the background of said world, with some additional pieces in here, like transportation, encounters within the Hive. Where are my dice? 58. 58 says, you emerge from a maze of vertical pathways into a minor courtyard. A nervous crowd surrounds 2 elderly scions of House Calvio and Villathi as they square off and hurl insults at one another, preparing to duel. As the game's master, you may decide that highborn scions are from different noble houses, the best at your needs. Fair enough. And you can use a stat block from the adventure to represent them if required. That's quite cool. Don't get lost in the Hive. You never know where you're going to end up. The upper Hive is better. So we've got tables for different sections within the Hive themselves, along with the background and some interesting little maps and additional sort of fluff pieces that let people know what's going on can be tied into story hooks and allow you to really exploit your delightful fellows as they move throughout the Hive itself. So there we go. Imperium Maledictum. It's a very nice starter set, and surprising with the way they've done the rule set there. I'm just going to grab those back out for a moment, because a lot of starter sets these days, there's two ways of doing a starter set. You either make it a starter set where it is a light way of getting into the game, or I see a lot that have the full rules in them. And I suppose that could be very overwhelming for brand new players, and especially brand new GMs. So if they've never done any role-playing before or never ran a game before, it's much easier to go, oh, we're doing a test now. Well, that's a test reference. That's all I need. Don't have to go flicking back and forth in the book. It's going to be an easy check. So, you know, plus 40 to skill, or it's a hard check, minus 20, whatever it happens to be. We're getting into combat. I just need the combat sheet. Somebody's been shot up. Critical wounds. So yeah, that is a very different way of doing it. I don't know if they've done this with previous starter sets, because I haven't seen it with any of the other things I've looked at with Cubicle 7. But this is a true starter. Very easy to get into. Very approachable as far as picking up the set goes. And then if you're enjoying it, your friends like it, you get through the campaign, you can look at picking up the full rules then and expanding from there. But this is a neat way of doing it. Well, there you go. Everything you need to get started into Imperium Maledictum. Really nice starter set. Great quality throughout. Obviously the artwork is sublime, and I really like the character set up there, but the real standout for me has got to be the guide to the Hive. Just to give the idea of where you are within the Warhammer 40,000 universe. So many people just think of it as battlefields, but getting down into the nitty-gritty and seeing how life is in and around the Hive, I think is a fantastic thing to explore, and it probably makes it my favourite RPG within the 41st millennium. But let me know what you think below, folks. Until next time, bye-bye.
Go ahead and check out our other content on screen now. And while you're at it, why not hit subscribe and remember to ding our dong. Go on, you know you want to click it. Go on.